right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about sports. Let's get into it, boys. Draft week.
Draft week. It happened. It came. It finally happened.
It came, we saw.
And it felt so good. Felt so good.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start with our Chiefs, boys.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
Nah,
Pretty fast.
Not bad at all.
Pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was pretty fast. I like what we took. I like what we did. I thought we addressed the needs that we needed most. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean come on.
I mean, obviously, first round receiver felt like a must to me.
Yeah.
Even with the addition of
that or
Hollywood Brown,
tackle.
even
I wouldn't
A
have
tackle-
hated if the right tackle fell to us. I wouldn't have hated it.
I didn't just feel like it was a must in the first round because last year it broke my soul watching those wide receivers.
Yeah,
It
but I thought with the development of Rasheed, we'll see how much time he gets. But
yeah.
with the development of Rasheed Rice coming along, with the addition of Hollywood Brown, and with just having Mahomes back there, I wasn't so scared about our wide receivers.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Hollywood Brown, a part of our receiving core, not Hollywood Brown, our receiving core.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
Because
Yeah, I
like
can
I
see the
like I
game.
like all the ideas of Hollywood Brown. I love the idea of Hollywood Brown. But you know what? I haven't ever seen like the version of Hollywood Brown that's up here. There's a version up here that I've never seen out there. And this version's really
seems. You see, this version of
This
Hollywood
one
is so
seems
good.
amazing.
He's such a burner, and he's
But the one I've seen the Ravens gave up on.
yeah.
The Cardinals just gave up.
I mean,
Well, the Cardinals
didn't
he
give
left the
up on-
Cardinals.
Just-
On his
just
own.
wa- Yeah, he wanted to be a part of something a little more special.
True.
Okay,
But yeah.
and how many targets was he going to get with Marvin Harrison Jr. just right there? So why not come over here and win a ring?
No, and I love the contract he's on.
What?
Fine.
Okay, so wide receiver, obviously fastest dude. And
Planet
ever.
Earth, too easy.
Ever
football?
with the 40 in the combine.
So if you've got him and Hollywood taking defenses over the top, what do you think that does for Rice and Kelsey and Pacheco?
Right underneath.
yeah.
I'm
And,
excited.
yeah, there should be some big numbers. I mean, yeah, dude,
Rice
this is going to be a fun offense to watch. Like, I would
Yeah.
much rather it be McCole Hardman than Kadarius Toney, but it could also be Sky Moore. We might see more Sky Moore. You might see take that another level because of more of that underneath stuff will be opened up. Maybe
Are
maybe.
you really still
Another
with
level
this
for
guy?
him.
He's
Come
gonna
let's
be
move
there with
on.
Rice out. Rice is
I-
gonna get 2 or 3 games.
Sky Moore is going
I'm-
to. This is the year that Sky Moore has to theoretically
Okay,
have it.
with Tony, I'm at least excited for the worthy Tony and our rugby players competition for the kick return game, right?
No, you know what I would
Since the
rather
kick
have
return
happen?
game is
I'd rather
finally
have
important
Kadarius
again.
Toney.
I think he could be a good kick returner. Like, I'm not saying he needs to be running routes
Unless he
and
doesn't
catching
drop the ball.
passes, but he can.
Yeah, so Sky Moore is definitely going to be on the team. I don't know if he's going to be any kind of impact player. He's going to
Practice squad,
Well,
whatever.
He's still a second round pick from 2 years ago. Like
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Sky's going to
he's
be
not,
there.
he's
so-
not getting cut. So I mean, the receiver room as it looks: Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, um, White Boy,
Justin Watson.
Justin Watson,
Just Watson.
um,
He's only been around a couple of years.
and then Tony and Sky. After last year, I kind of doubt that we talk Andy Reid into keeping 7 again.
Yeah, I don't know if we need it.
So I don't know. if John Ross is going to make the roster.
Probably.
Justin
Practice squad.
Justin Ross, sorry, Justin Ross.
No, John Ross was also a player that we tried out last year too. So
Yeah.
formerly the fastest.
So, I put in the group chat earlier or on I believe Thursday or Friday night. Like we were talking ourselves into Kadarius Toney as our number one last year and trying to get excited about it. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, it definitely feels different. I do like seeing a concerted effort on fixing that position. I would, I would like now to see even at this stage us bring in another body to push these other guys.
Good. I mean, Tyler Boyd's still out there.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to do anything.
I don't see room
bad.
for like you've got your top three set. Like I don't think you really want to bring anybody else in.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think you do need to push that fourth guy because he's going to probably have a bigger role with what's going to happen with Rice.
I mean, as a fourth guy, you're going to get that much better than Justin Watson.
I mean, you could get a little more consistent.
But we're talking about a number 4 guy, and
Yeah, we
he's going to
don't-
be a number 3 for the majority of the season.
I think we're set at wide receiver. I think we're set.
Yeah.
I mean, we do
I
have
think
to
we're wrong.
we do
I
have to
think that, like-
compensate. We don't know how long Rice is going to be suspended.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But I suspect somewhere around 4-ish games. You know, with the NFL, you never know. It's throwing darts, right? A dartboard. you
Yeah,
know.
I don't try to make
Punishment
rhyme or
days.
reason with what they punish people for.
No idea.
My brain tells me it's going to be 6 games. That's what I feel. With Adam Schefter saying it's going to be multiple games, he didn't say it was going to be
Okay. So-
half a season or more.
I know, dude.
I
It
think
could
that
be
it's
2.
gonna
I
come
wouldn't
out
be
big.
surprised if it were 6. I wouldn't be surprised for 2. Like,
See,
4 to
my
6 is
gut's
where
telling me 3.
I don't know. I just
how long after he doesn't do this shit again?
what?
I say suspend him long enough that he doesn't even think about doing this shit again.
So
yeah. I mean,
I'm in favor. I'm in favor of a longer suspension.
yeah,
half
I
a
don't know.
season.
6
Sure.
to 8 games
Yeah,
doesn't make
8 games, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
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 6 to 8 games is kind of where my head falls.
It'd be certainly
They
deserving.
could have killed so many people.
Yeah, dude, that
Oh
was
yeah, it could have been terrible. It could have been very bad.
it was a horrific.
but
and I'm not.
I- It's the NFL, so
I do not want a Henry Ruggs.
No.
I know. Like
I
you
don't want
just
another-
saw this shit
I
happen.
don't even want another Derek Thomas.
You just saw this shit happen, man.
Yeah.
But the NFL will probably be like 4 games. Why not?
We'll
How
see.
many did Willie Gay get for breaking a vacuum? Like
That was
3?
6.
6? Was it 6? Can't have been 6.
3? I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
I want to say.
3 or
Uh,
It may have been talked down. It may have been negotiated down. But it was ridiculous. It
Anyway,
was
the tackle we got in the second round was being projected to us at number 32.
fantastic pick. Second round
Yeah.
had so much talent
Wow.
available.
That tackle was a Veach special.
Yeah.
And he
and an
could-
Andy
he
Reid.
could
A
be our-
BYU a BYU tackle, Andy Reid is like, this is my guy.
Yeah, right.
The guy.
I think
Uh,
it was a great 4th round as well for the Chiefs.
I highly recommend going and watching some highlight tape on the tight end, Jared Wiley.
Yeah, speaking of our receiving core, Jared Wiley, man.
Yeah, this dude has a massive catch radius.
Yeah.
All right.
The ball's anywhere near him, he's going to get it.
He's gonna grab it.
fast.
He's fast, athletic.
He's a good blocker.
I watched multiple breakdown videos of him that were from a month ago minimum, and a lot of there's more than one that said that like he's like a little mini Kelsey.
Yeah, that's I've seen. I saw him called that well before we drafted him.
Yeah,
Like the people are calling him. a little
when you
mini
watch the film, you
Right.
absolutely see it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I
and-
don't know much about the safety.
The safety
I've heard good things about
I
him.
know he's more of a gadget guy too, right? You can kind of
during the PFF live draft stream when we drafted him, the dude said, "Good Lord, if don't throw screens against the Chiefs, you're going to get somebody killed."
Yeah,
Good.
it says
That's the
that
kind of guy I like in our defense. That's the kind of dude I love in a Spags defense.
they say
Yeah,
he
to me,
can,
Him and Shamari Connor are going to murder a guy.
They
He's
got you
gonna
got to know
be
how to
that
tackle.
He's going to be that up safety on a lot of plays.
I
Yeah.
think
And the
Jaden
linebacker
Hicks might be your Justin Reed replacement.
There you go. Okay.
They say he can line up on the slot or high, but he's at his best when he's at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so he's gonna be that. He's gonna be that up guy right now, and I think, man, this defense is gonna.
He's going to help us blow up screens now
cooked.
that
He's
Snead's
great
gone.
against the run too.
The other three guys we got are probably futures.
Yeah, I do. The center,
The center is.
I like.
I love that pick because that's probably
I
our
do too.
ready replacement.
it's
He's played every position on the line.
he has.
Probably more of a guard.
If he can actually develop, it'd be cool to see him maybe when Tooney's contract is inevitably up in a couple of years, him go there. But I do like him as a depth piece because he's played all over. Like he
Well, again,
played-
it's either that or it's like I was telling you guys. There's there's a lot of people like that are inside the Chiefs that they're like inside with the Chiefs that know that the long-term plan is to get Creed out to guard.
really.
Yeah.
His snaps are pretty low. So maybe that
Yeah,
counts.
he's not a great snapper. I mean,
I wouldn't hate, I love Creed, so as long as he's in there.
Yeah, anyway, you can get him.
But yeah,
that dude can block his tits off.
Hunter, I don't know, how good he's going to be or not, but I just like his experience, right? He played tackle at Cornell before going to Penn State and playing guard and center.
Yeah.
Like, so he's played every position on the line. I like it, man.
Yeah, I think it was a overall, and obviously, the way the Chiefs were able to acquire. There's this awesome tackle,
Yeah.
And the
the
second-
way we were able to,
and the way they were able to get the fastest player ever recorded in the combine were shocking to us.
it was. I don't think anybody.
3 of our picks
saw-
came from Buffalo this draft.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we traded with the 49ers as well.
Yeah.
Like 2
I
teams
know-
that you think
man.
would just be like, we're not gonna fucking answer that phone call. They would have us on the block list, but
You would think, man. I couldn't
the
believe
49ers last time we gave them D Ford.
when the. Okay, here's the
Why?
thing with.
It's a reason to ignore us.
Here's the thing with the Buffalo one though, right? Because like I would understand if Buffalo were like collecting picks,
Mhm.
but they didn't even gain a pick.
No,
They just
they didn't.
got a little better in the back end, right?
both.
And I don't
They're both the Brown.
They
both
got back the equivalent of a 6th rounder.
understand that.
We won that.
Like I get that we jumped up 4 spots and it's at the
They
back of
absolutely
the
did,
first.
But I mean, it's just funny that you're used to seeing teams get the chance.
Why are you trying to improve? Like I get you want to have all around. You've got a lot of spots to fill as Buffalo, right? You've got a lot of spots to fill, so you want to make sure you kind of spread the talent out.
And you want to get higher value in these picks, so that way more of these guys are starters. Because you're not going to start a 7th rounder,
Yes.
but maybe you can if you get 2
But
mid-rounders.
My thing is because then they traded back again, but they only traded back for like some later round guy.
It was the
so
same exact situation.
I think taking a guy in the first round, I think is going to could bring your franchise a lot more value than 2 guys in the 6th round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
You-
the receiver they took, they lost an extra year of control.
Yeah.
By not drafting him in the 1st round.
but they
And now
better
some
position
people-
themselves
the
in
fifth-year
those later
option.
rounds.
But okay, so
They didn't
a
take-
speculation on that is that they also don't have to pay that receiver first round money, and that they are pretty tight on cash this year.
That's
So
such a negligible amount of money.
it's not
Like
negligible.
it used to be.
It's not
Yeah.
negligible when it comes to the Bills cap situation.
Right now they are in they have a sign that says every little thing helps.
Yeah. So
Because
I
that
think
Stephon
that
Diggs
may
trade
have
where they
been what was
ate all that cap this
going on there,
They
but
all
they
that dead
didn't.
cap.
They are pretty broke. Like there were some of their fans were like, well, we're after Thursday night, they're like, well, we're gonna package some picks to get Brandon Ayuk, right? I'm like, no, dog.
No.
Nah.
You don't have any
Debo
money.
Samuel? No.
You have no money.
No.
But I was quite shocked that they traded with us, and then their first selection was, of course, a wide receiver. Like, all right, so
That
not that they didn't get a
franchise-
decent wide
That
receiver,
franchise is a full tailspin right now, man.
but
That's
I know,
because
man.
Andy Reid's like, Sean, you owe me. And Sean's like, you're right, I do.
Buffalo
Like, but I
needs
gave you Pat. We gave you Patrick Mahomes.
And
Haven't we
then
given you enough? Nah, you still have that job, Sean. You still owe me.
So
Yeah,
look,
I've heard multiple people like say, business is business, but goddamn, you can't do business with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
was
thought,
shocking.
I
This-
really thought,
would you do business with someone who's hit you over the head with a baseball bat
you
7
know,
times?
That's
and
why
it's
my
weird.
initial reaction to the group chat was, it was the fucking
Fucking
Bills.
Bills, dude. And then in the
Yeah.
Niners, and then the Niners trade with
Yeah,
us.
and then
Like
the
the
Niners,
two
those are-
teams that have been hurt the most by this dynasty.
I thought it was going to be the Cowboys. To be honest, I thought 24
Yeah.
or after the Cowboys traded out and it wasn't to us, I was like, it's not happening.
I am curious to, like, I really want to know who we jumped to get Xavier Worthy,
It's got to be the Niners.
because there was
I think-
it might have been, but there were apparently a few teams like in a bidding war for that
There
pick.
could have been. There could have been teams who weren't even in, the,
And I say bidding war, like
in front of us.
the best
uh,
offer was what we gave them. Like,
There could have been teams that, weren't in front of us, but trying to jump in front of us. And then we had to make sure that they didn't.
Yeah.
But we didn't. It was a great deal for us. Like at first, I didn't. I was like a third, but I'm like, oh, it's not even a third. We're just like hopping back 30 spots
Yeah.
to change this third into a fourth, technically. But and then what we got at 4 with the tight end. So, the
great
Bills
first
better hope. I mean, dude, the Bills better hope that Coleman is better than Worthy, right? That their wide receiver they took is better than the one we took.
Yeah.
They really do. If
Yeah,
it-
I mean,
if it turns out that-
we're going to be linked to it, and
Oh, no,
Xavier Leggett as well. He's got to be better than those two receivers because they traded out of 2 receivers.
they did.
Xavier Worthy.
The Niners took.
Xavier
Yeah,
Leggett.
you're not wrong.
So both of those guys, and I'll tell you what, Xavier Leggett looks like he's a freaking awesome prospect.
And they
great
better hope that tight end that we took by hopping back into the fourth, isn't
Yeah.
also a beast as well.
the safety is the guy we got with that pick.
Is it okay? He was
Yeah.
the second,
The
fourth
tight
one.
end was
All
our
right,
fourth pick.
gotcha. All right.
Because they
I
got
wasn't sure which
they got
fourth
our
round
third.
Yeah.
So
They got-
Dwayne
yeah.
Carter from Duke is Dwayne Carter's who they took with our pick.
All right.
Let's see. Where's the Bills?
Compliment to Ed Oliver.
Dwayne Carter. Okay.
Yeah. They think he'll be in the rotation early. I don't know. He played at Duke though, so. And then they got a center and
Here, line,
a
D
linebacker.
line. Like a big old boy.
yeah. I mean, it's like you said. We are going to be comparing for the next 4 years at least Keon Coleman to the 2 Xaviers.
Yeah.
So
We'll see, man.
hopefully we see the Chiefs win that one.
Who knows, man? It's a speedy guy. Like he said, Xavier Worthy said he likes to compare himself to Deshaun Jackson, and I wouldn't hate it if that's what he turned out to be.
And I was worried about it whenever I saw his weight coming in at 165, but I'm like,
The Andy Reid special, my guy. Small,
also
short,
Devonta
super fast.
Smith comes in at 166. Deshaun Jackson was at 169 when he entered the league. So
Oh.
these guys are
Well,
not rare to this league anymore.
Worthy's probably going to play at 170 to 175 somewhere in there.
Yeah,
He lost all that weight just to try and make the 4-2-1.
yeah. So yeah, he'll be good.
Yeah.
All-
Let's pivot here, boys. Let's reset the call. I'm gonna mark
I
us
don't know
away
that one.
on the live. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
All right, we are back, boys.
Hey.
Let's get into our next topic, the Eagles. P, this is your domain.
I mean, you can go ahead. They had a pretty good draft. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was good because there was a lot of talk about the Eagles in the first round moving up. And the player they had them moving up for, they stayed pat and just waited on because of all this run on quarterbacks that we'll get into.
And offensive players in general.
And yeah, offensive players where the first 14 picks of this draft were offensive players. So yeah, if you wanted a defensive player, you sat there and you're like, oh, okay.
And that's crazy because that's exactly what the Eagles needed. Eagles are set on offensive players.
Yeah.
They don't need anybody on
so
offense.
The first 3 rounds for the Eagles for them just freaking sitting there being like, well, best player available is how they like to draft, and best player available on their board was defenders for the 3 rounds. So they just kept taking them. Probably the 2 highest rated defensive backs in the draft went round 1 and 2 to the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, that's... You guys needed it, too. You needed some good corners. You needed to rework your...
Star pass rusher as well in the 3rd round. So, I mean, this was a very good draft for the beginning part of it. I mean, so you pointed out, Sneaky, that this was how he set the record for the most trades in a draft or something like that. Wild. Which is probably a record he held prior to breaking it. Yeah, I mean...
and then you were worried about linebackers, right?
Yeah,
but nobody values linebackers anymore, so you're able to find one late.
Yeah, we're able to get Jeremiah Trotter, who... It's funny because he's...
one of your 25th round picks or something like that?
Yeah, he was our second 5th round pick out of 3.
Yeah.
Out of Clemson, but yeah, just a good... we had his father on our team. Jeff Lurie has known him since he was 3 years old.
Hey, okay.
So, I mean, he's not a player that's going to wow you when you look at his measurables and all that, but then you look at some of his stats and you're like, oh, okay, he, over the last 2 years at Clemson, had like 12 sacks.
All right.
So, I mean, you're like, okay, that's pretty solid. You're okay with it. So.
And for a linebacker?
Yeah. Coming away with him that late in the draft, I'm very happy with. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great draft by the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, this is when Howie cooks. Howie cooks in the off season and in the draft process. And it's like Veach. Brett Veach does amazing work this time. So it's like Sneaky sent, and he was like, it's never a shock when you see that Howie Roseman and Brett Veach rank in the top.
Are doing, yeah.
Right.
Let's
hammer it home.
Maybe we move off of our teams that we love, and maybe we talk about some of the other stuff that happened.
We did talk about the Bills. We don't love the Bills. I guess we love.
But that was in accordance of what they did with us. So let's quarterbacks abound, right? We haven't seen this many quarterbacks taken since the famous, was it the 83 draft?
1983.
Right?
That took 27 picks to get.
Where this only took 12
picks. 12 picks.
12 picks, 6 quarterbacks.
12 picks, and then Bo Nix. Bo Nix was the 12th pick.
And then in Bo Nix.
The 6th quarterback pick.
And of course, the shocking one, right? I think all of these ones were pretty predictable, except for one. Pretty standout pick. The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Taking Michael Penix at number 8. After just paying Kirk Cousins premium money, right? Like how much guaranteed?
$180 million, $100 million guaranteed.
100 million guaranteed, 180 overall for 4 years. So that's a lot of money for a bridge quarterback.
So you're going to, if things go as well as they predict amongst themselves, they're going to be picking up Michael Penix's option, never having seen him play a meaningful game of football.
I mean, if they actually play, they can't go all 4 years with Kurt at this point. And I don't know if they were planning to.
Yeah.
Maybe they only planned on 3. But even then, like, this dude, he's 24, right?
Yeah.
Ready to go. It's like if
he's ready. he
It's
has
like if
to
the
go.
Commanders were sitting Jaden Daniels right now because he's 24 also.
The only way that this turns out to look good is if Kirk Cousins' Achilles pops again.
Or if he's not able to
Then
go.
they're gonna look like fucking geniuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not. I still don't think they're going to be that good either way because you spent all that money where you could have spent that money on guys to help out your young quarterback. You have now spent that money on a quarterback who on your injury reserve list.
And
Like,
that offense is pretty well set to go.
but
what
is
I
that
will say,
defense? But is
next
like
4 rounds they
Yeah,
did spend picks on
the
defense.
defense is nasty.
They did spend the next 4 picks on defensive players, and
I mean, I get it.
obviously this was the draft to not reach for defensive talent. Probably
They got
because of what
Bijan
the
and
Falcons did.
Yeah.
The Falcons really set that into motion.
I don't. I mean, man, I think either way you've set yourself up to be
But
like.
I'm with you, Sam. You could have drafted anything else.
Yeah. It's a
Like
rare
if-
situation where I want to love the pick so much, but because of the Falcons having just signed Kirk Cousins to this massive contract, it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Right.
Like, it's just
You
as
think-
simple as that. Like, I want to like this pick. I really do. And
It makes sense if he's a young guy.
yeah, absolutely. But
Okay, great. You draft.
I just can't talk myself into liking this one for them. I really like the player, too. I
It's
like
perplexing. It is perplexing.
fucking
Why
stupid.
you?
Yeah, and Penix got it the worst out of anybody here.
Yeah.
Dude, he's ready to
He's
go.
24, he should be starting this coming season.
But you can't start him for at least unless there's an injury to Kirk Cousins. You
Yeah.
can't start him for
No, I know.
the first 2 years at least.
Yeah, this is like us drafting him.
And this is nothing like it's nothing like when the Packers did it with Jordan Love, right? Because Jordan Love was 21. Jordan Love is now 24. He got to sit for 3 years and play a starting season at the point of where Penix basically is now, right? Like age wise.
Yeah.
So what fuck you doing? And they took Jordan Love in like the 20 something, not at 8.
Yeah, I mean, there is belief that
You gotta be
Penix
winning.
would have gone to the Raiders had the Raiders been picking there. So if you're
I
the
think-
Falcons, maybe you were
So-
afraid that you weren't going to get the opportunity to take him.
With how set up the Falcons are on offense, you think that them getting a guy going and spending big money on Kirk Cousins put them in win now mode? Like, oh, we have the offense that we need. We just need a quarterback to come and complete it, right?
Well, yeah,
So,
that's
win
yeah.
now. You have to win now.
Well, and honestly, like you have such a great shot right now because the NFC South.
Not
I
good.
don't really believe anybody got that much better.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you look at
Bucks had a pretty good draft.
looking at how the Falcons drafted in the later rounds, I like this draft. Obviously, I do question this one pick. Like, I do think that it's going to be a time will tell if we can see him in 2 years, which is probably what I think now. Cousins will play 2 years here, and then they'll agree to trade him somewhere, or maybe he'll ask for a trade after that. We've seen it in Philadelphia with Sam Bradford.
Who knows? Could retire.
Philadelphia
Of course,
signed
they'd probably
Sam
leave
Bradford
one.
to a contract extension and then drafted Carson Wentz and then traded his ass to Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could see a situation that after the preseason, Kirk Cousins was like, yo, I will sign off on a trade to this team if
Still think you take some of that cap, like a cap hit for it, though, right?
Oh yeah, they'll definitely
Like,
have to do it, but maybe they can mutually. Yeah, obviously.
All the money is the first 2 years. Isn't the
So-
first 2 years?
So that's
They can get out clean after 2 years.
So
cool. And your quarterback will be 26,
Yep.
trying to play his first season,
Yep.
and he should have been playing. I
That makes a lot
mean,
of sense.
who do we? Okay, so
It's almost like they're counting on him. Kirk Cousins getting injured this year.
yeah,
He's 35 coming off of an Achilles.
why?
He'll be
Yeah,
36
you're-
once the season starts.
if you're that scared, why'd you pay him all that money?
Yeah.
It's just the dumbest
I
shit.
agree. Yeah, that's the other
Yeah.
end of the spectrum. That is the other end of the spectrum.
And
Like, if you try to rationalize it that way.
It really feels like owner and GM are not on the same page.
Or,
But see,
right?
there's
Or
no
GM and
fucking-
coach.
But
Maybe.
there's no fucking way you take a quarterback at number 8 overall without the owner's blessing with a new head coach.
Or maybe there's a coach and GM. Okay, and on top of this all,
Except for
you
he
don't
always
tell.
loved Michael Penix.
They didn't tell Kirk Cousins they were doing this. He found out in the moment. Like
They called him. They called him before they made the pick, but they called him like while they were on
right before they made like, oh hey, you're about to
You're
we
the
didn't
first
want
of
you to
two calls
find
we're
out.
making.
We didn't want you to find out live while it was happening in the net in about 30 seconds here.
We're sorry.
It's like, we're taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know what their offensive line looks like, the Falcons. I'm not, but I'm guessing they could have maybe taken, a good offensive line.
They have Jake Matthews there.
Could have taken.
Good player. They have a couple of good pieces on that O line. But yeah, I mean, you can never have enough depth on there. Obviously, it wasn't too good if they weren't a playoff team, but that could have also been Desmond Ritter's doing.
I just don't.
It was probably Desmond Ritter's doing. I'm not kidding. That's whose fault it is. And the year before it was that motherfucker Marcus Mariota. And also the Art Smith burger of it all.
At least Desmond Ritter's going to do us the favor of never being seen again.
Yeah, he's the backup for the Cardinals now, so that seems like a good place for his career to
Desmond
not.
Ridder? Jesus Christ.
Because they traded him for Rondale Moore. So Atlanta, they got Rondale Moore and then Darnell Mooney. They brought in at wide receiver, so they got a pretty solid wide receiver core there, especially with Cordero Patterson and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. They're just weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So this offense, like, really is loaded. Like, you didn't need to draft anything on there. Maybe O-line, like you said. I'm not too privy on all their positions. I just know Jake Matthews. But
then stack your defense.
They definitely needed some help. They could have used Dallas Turner.
Fucking trade back.
Yeah, but
yes. Oh, there you go.
But if
the Broncos, according to Sean Payton, he was not actually serious about trading up, but he wanted people to think he was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was there actually?
That clip was so embarrassing. Like that's oh man, that's
we
like
wanted to make it
like
look
the
good.
office level cringe.
Yeah.
Right. Where like it worked out for him that his guy fell to him, but he wanted to think that he wasn't
Shouted
scared.
over the GM
He was like, no.
or the owner to let him. I had a hand in that. My God.
It is like in The Office when Michael thinks that he like saves the branch by going to David Wallace's house, but that's not like it's just that the other boss quit from the other branch, like.
Yeah.
But he thinks like,
Yeah,
he's like, I did it. I did it, you guys.
But then those fuckers went and did the one thing to make that Bo Nix pick work this year and drafted his
Okay.
own.
I think the Broncos actually what's our next topic here?
Broncos
That's
Chargers. That's where we're headed.
So just
Okay.
go ahead. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, I mean, Sneaky, you go ahead, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, two of our division rivals did really, really well in the draft. Like
Mhm.
really well.
They
The
did.
Chargers drafted like the balls it took to make this pick and not trade out. Like to go ahead and draft your tackle of the future, Joel, who's probably a future Hall of Famer. He's going to play for 12, 13 years.
Yeah, I know. Right?
That's a Harbaugh pick. Like, that's only the type of you only get that pick because you have Harbaugh.
Son of a Chiefs
So
legend,
this guy's
to the
gonna
Chargers.
for us for the rest of Pat Mahomes' career at least. And then they got Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, they did get Ladd
Which is-
McConkey.
He's other than our offense, like that's such a perfect fit for the Chargers, man.
Mhm.
It seems, and they had a huge need for him.
He's gonna be such a great play action receiver. And yeah, then they just reloaded on defense. Picked up a couple of receivers. They got Brendan Rice, the son of Jerry Rice, in the 7th round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's who. Oh, okay.
Oh,
So the I s- I still don't know that the Chargers are going to be competitive this year, just
It
because
may take a year.
they
It may take a year.
lost so much, and they still need to.
I was. Yeah, I mean, you like the McConkey with them, but
If
I'm
every
just
one
not.
of those defensive players works out that they drafted, maybe, but
the reason I'm going to say that I think they are going to be competitive, I think the Chargers are going to be. I hate saying it. They're not going to win our division. I'm not going to go on that boat. We're going to win the division. But the Chargers are going to be competitive because they didn't lose the defensive talent. Like they kept Khalil Mack and Bosa in place. Like you said, they just hit home runs in this draft.
You really thought they would have traded one of those guys and one of the wide receivers, but
Yeah, but they just said fuck you to both receivers.
both wide receivers.
Fine, we'll just go ahead and draft.
they got rid of all those contracts.
Yeah,
They
they got
did.
rid of those.
Well, but they still have a couple contracts on the line.
Yeah, they renegotiated with Khalil Mack. I think Bosa as well. But yeah, dude. I mean, they've done some smart moves, and I think we've seen it. We saw it whenever Harbaugh was in San Francisco. He really got the most out of defensive talent. Like we could see something huge from Khalil Mack or Bosa. Like this could be a huge year for those two dudes because we've seen it with Aldon Smith and the other Justin Smith.
Okay, yeah.
They had monster year after monster year. I mean, Aldon Smith was setting records. Like he was gonna be he was like doing stuff we hadn't ever seen before.
We'll see. I mean, they've got some talent on that side of the ball. The Chargers have always that's the thing with the Chargers. They've always had a lot of talent. They just never put it together.
They are the
so,
best
but I think they have a coach that can do that now. Like that's what's scary.
Yeah.
The only thing with their wide receivers, the wide receiver room is still pretty weak, and I think Ladd McConkey doesn't have anyone there to really help him out.
Yeah, because Ladd McConkey's not a deep threat.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anybody else to take any of the pressure off. And
yeah, there's talks that they might bring in MVS.
Still not going to take any of the pressure off. Ooh, there goes Mike.
In the playoffs, he'll help.
Sure.
The Broncos also, like I said, they did the one thing to make that Bo Nix pick probably work okay this year and drafted his wide receiver Troy Franklin as well.
That's
got him like in the 4th round. That's a steal.
Yeah.
That's an absolute.
That was a perfect pick. That was the perfect pick right there. We can.
So yeah, speaking of perfect picks, let's move to our question of the week. Who do we think most improved after the draft?
And heck, man, speaking of these Chargers and Broncos, the Broncos might be the most improved team besides the Bears. I think the Bears. I think if we're talking about who elevated their team the most, not who went from we're a perennial playoff team to now a championship team, but who elevated their team from.
I mean,
because the
Bears,
the Bears
are obvious. Yeah.
Bears to me have done it progressively throughout the off season.
What are the Bears going to do?
Caleb Williams alone, kind of, right? Caleb Williams and then Roma Dunes, right? Like those
that's obscene.
Right.
That's because of the fucking Atlanta Falcons being the Atlanta.
And they even got a pretty good damn tap. Those two picks alone are it's tough to say they didn't shoot way, because who knows? The sky's the limit. If Caleb is what we think Caleb is,
at the very least, those assholes will better be fun to watch.
That right. But I think after the Broncos are a team that I think greatly improved. I think the Bo Nix pick, while it's obviously not, it's the 6th quarterback, right? So how good can he be? Although if we go back to that 83 draft, the 6th quarterback taken in the 1st round was Dan Marino. But with Denver, I think he's a guy who has played a ton of football, right? I think he set a record for the most college games ever played. He's been kind of a journeyman too. He's been under quite a few, I think 3 different offensive systems. I know he doesn't throw the ball down the field a ton of times, right? Far down the field, but he plays in a system, right?
Yeah.
He's used to
that's the
playing
system
in
that
a
works in
system that's about getting the ball out and timing, and that's exactly what Sean Payton's offense is. I think he's great fit for the team.
Yeah.
Like while he's not as physically gifted as a lot of the other guys ahead of him, and I think he's ready to. I think he's more ready to go day one than some of them. Right? He doesn't need a ton of development because again, he's played a ton of ball. So I think he works really well for Sean Payton and that team, and they have good offensive pieces to complement him. Right? They gave him his number one wide receiver in college, comfortable with. They've got Sutton there, who's great veteran wide receiver for him on the other side. So he's got two guys right there that that he believes he can rely on at least. So
Yeah, I think the problem is still your coach.
well, we're gonna see. This is it. This is it for Sean Payton. You took your quarterback. You are building your offense now. This is it for you. Are you any good?
Yeah.
Are you what you say you are? If
Yeah,
you
I
are,
I
then
kind of think they're stuck in hell.
there you go.
Hey, so
I think the Chargers are still better, and obviously we're still better.
I just want to point out, this is kind of breaking news here, but the Suns are about to get swept, I think.
Yeah, they are. I'm watching it,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to let you guys know that.
loving it.
I think another team that has greatly improved because of the draft is the Lions. I think they addressed their biggest
Lions did really
weakness
well.
at
The Lions.
the DB position.
Yeah, they definitely doubled down on that. They did some good work at that position.
And honestly, that's what killed them this season.
It is. Yeah. Oh, and man, killed him in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. I think they easily could have made the Super Bowl had they had some DBs. So
I mean, it's tough to say they're really weak anywhere else.
yeah, I mean kicker,
They weren't.
Yeah.
but but then again, Dan Campbell doesn't really, he's gonna go for it on fourth down, and
They also
I know a lot of people gave him shit about going for it in that playoff game, but you go into the playoffs playing the same game you always play, and that's the game that Dan Campbell plays. So
Mm-hmm.
also grabbed a safety in the fourth round, so they continued beefing up that secondary throughout
Secondary.
the because
Mhm.
like you said, their secondary was trash.
yeah,
The Raiders
Yeah.
got Bowers.
Yeah, the Raiders did
Good.
get Brock Bowers.
That could
Did
be
miss out on
scary.
the quarterbacks, but I think they made the right move not trading up for one.
Yeah, they're they're fucked this year.
Yeah, they're
Aiden
definitely
O'Connell.
they're gonna ride that Gardner Minshew train, dog. It's a fun ride. It's a fun.
Why you don't think AOC? You don't think Aiden
Maybe
O'Connell's gonna win
AOC, maybe AOC, but I think you got to think
Oh.
Gardner as the front runner.
that?
Who do you think was the most improved after the draft, Sneaky?
See, I think the
Yeah, I-
Lions are so close to being like a championship team already that they don't have much to improve, right?
yeah.
As far as like,
I don't think
who
they're
is
the most improved, but I
most-
think that they hit exactly where they needed to hit.
Yeah, and that
that's
can
good.
be sometimes the most important thing. I mean,
It can be.
Yeah, I mean, again, other than the obvious Bears, for me, it's going to be the Chargers.
It's not a bad, not a bad pick there.
They've got just the way they're building their team. I think I don't know if they're like I don't know if they're going to be the second best in our division this year, but like from where they started in the offseason to what they look like now, I think they're the most improved.
That's true. They
Because
may
had
be.
they had massive issues.
Chargers once again won the offseason. What do you know? Except for the wide receivers. Get a wide receiver, Jesus Christ. Like, you did, but you could use a little veteran help.
I mean, they lost their both of their wide receivers.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen. I mean, but the thing with Mike Williams is like they never had him anyway.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
always
always hurt.
Those two guys were never on the field together. Like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, like hardly ever. They're both scary as hell. Hated playing against him, but didn't have to worry about it half the time.
But you know what? I'm gonna pick somebody different. Do the Minnesota Vikings. I like that. Like JJ McCarthy, they kept the minimal. Like whenever I thought you're gonna give up 2 first-round picks to get him, I hated
Yeah.
it. And plus, I think bringing him into this situation,
What do we think about them hopping up one to get JJ? Who are they?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking.
Who are they? Who are they hopping in front of?
Well, you remember like the Broncos made him think they were.
Yeah.
Right. Was that
Yeah.
Sean? Is that what Sean's like?
But I mean, I think that's just Sean saying it because he missed
I tricked the Vikings into like
giving up minimal draft pick.
giving up to the Vikings, trading.
They
Just,
had extra.
Wow, Sean, fucking
He's
I-
fucking genius.
40
I tricked a
chess
team-
moves, buddy.
I tricked a team in the other conference to like give up minimal draft compensation.
Yeah, I'm in the AFC West, and I just fucked the NFC North real good.
Right. You
then
got
I-
him.
Hey, I wasn't
We-
able to beat him in the playoffs, but the Minnesota Miracle, I got you back for you, son of a bitch.
Someone tell Sean Payton that we played their division last year, actually. So
But anyway, I like the pick of JJ McCarthy whenever they only had to move up 1 spot for it instead of having to move up into the top 5 for him.
Yeah,
And bringing him on board with, Justin Jefferson, of course.
Shay Jadis.
Addison's been
he's going to a good situation, and I think
Aaron Jones, when he's healthy, is a very, very good running back, and I think Aaron Jones with a chip on his shoulder might be a good thing.
he's got everything he needs. He's got a good offensive minded coach, right?
Yeah.
He's got a great offense just around him. I don't know. I think their offensive line is pretty good, right? They've got some guys.
Not terrible.
Maybe.
I mean, but also
Quarterback
what I
should-
like is in the second, and they used another first-round pick and got one of the best defensive players in the whole draft because of Atlanta passing on him. They took Dallas Turner at pick freaking 17. They traded back up.
Yep.
So I mean, they made.
Good job. Good
I
job.
really like those two right there. Really hammer it home, this draft for them. But I think it helps them improve a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They did also take a place kicker.
Look, if anybody should value the kicking spot, it is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. They did that in the 6th round. I mean, they got a corner.
There is a team that knows that it's important to have a kicker that can come through.
Yeah, it was like the only thing they really didn't get that they needed was a running back and a guard. But I mean, if you miss out on a guard in a draft, I'm not going to be mad because almost every guard feels like a reach in the draft.
Right.
Almost everyone.
Yeah. Right.
Well, let's
Where
move
we
on
at?
to NBA playoffs, boys. Speaking
Hey.
of, there was a sweep that just happened, literally as we switched over.
Good
Yeah.
job, Minnesota. Your first sweep ever. Good job, guys. Your franchise first for them.
Yeah.
They swept. They swept them.
Swap 'em, swap 'em.
Suns, those guys, isn't it?
Suns, you're gonna have to retool. You're gonna have to do this one over, right?
You just literally traded for fucking Bradley Beal in the
Mhm.
offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
This is a massive failure.
Durant not getting
This is a
younger.
massive fucking failure, and this is a huge embarrassment if you're Kevin Durant. If you are Kevin
Yeah.
Durant, this is a huge embarrassment and a huge black mark on your career.
It is.
This is
Look, man.
this is
I
embarrassing.
understand
This
that
is
Kevin
crap.
Durant. I understand that Kevin Durant, great, right? All timer. Won the Finals MVP those 2 years he was with Golden State.
only should have gotten one of those. One of them should have been Curry.
Right. Like that's the thing is that like I can't he's not better than Steph Curry, right?
No.
Like,
No.
not that- Steph
Curry-
is we still see Steph as the guy in that Golden State dynasty,
Okay,
right?
AD should go back.
What? AD should
AD
go back. What? AD
KD should go back.
should
to
go
Golden
back.
State.
Kevin Durant should go back to Kevin.
KD. I thought you said 80. I'm
I kept
like,
saying
why
K-
wouldn't Tony? Well,
KD,
KD, man.
the guy we're talking about.
AD should go
Yeah,
back to
that-
the Pelicans.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was like, why would you? What?
Between him and Zion, you might have a full season out of a power forward
Ugh.
position.
True.
Hey, now they,
You're an all-star.
Zion played some games, right? Didn't
They
we talk
both
about that?
played over 70 games this season, so I take.
That's most of them. I mean, I'd be happy with that.
I think they would trade some of those Zion minutes for postseason minutes. He's been out, but I mean, a lot of people have been hurt. Jimmy Butler, Giannis has been that one.
So, I mean, let's talk about some of that. So
And maybe Doc Rivers can undo the curse right here. Maybe they can undo his curse.
the opposite, come back from 3-1.
Maybe he can come back
Those-
from it.
Man, the Bucks they're out.
Dame
I
missed.
mean,
time.
Dame missed. Dame didn't play. Giannis didn't play. What are you gonna do? And now you're down 3-1. Like,
Do they come back in time? Can they both play Game 5? If so,
I know. And if they come back, are you rushing them back just to try to save yourself in
from getting
first round
yeah,
the first
from a
round
exit?
instead of trying to think long term and be like, you know what? Let's scrap this year. Let's go into next year. Like, you may have to.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But that's kind of how
Um,
you envision a season going when you replace your coach mid-season.
Yeah.
You don't really envision them going deep.
Unfortunate things happening, but what happens?
But on the other end of the spectrum, Anthony Edwards, real quick. Anthony Edwards has arrived. Like, that dude is a monster. Like, we saw it in Game 1 against this freaking Suns team. He's out there talking shit to KD as he's hitting threes on him, like talking about how old he is. Like,
Dude,
Anthony, and he's sitting there and he's dunking it and he's yelling cookies as he's throwing it down. Anthony
So-
Edwards, people were like, who's going to be the face of the league when LeBron is done?
to
He
close
plays
out a
Minnesota.
series
He's
with
playing
a
in
40
Minnesota.
burger.
Minnesota,
Close out
that's
a series.
Anthony Edwards is not going to be Ja Morant. Unless something goes wrong, it's this dude right here. They just swept Kevin Durant.
Think so? I mean, and man,
And he's
Dude,
been
it's,
like, look at it. Look, whatever Jimmy Butler was in Minnesota, he was not able to elevate Karl Anthony Towns to be a winner. Whenever Donovan Mitchell played with Rudy Gobert, he was not able to elevate him to play at this level.
right?
What we're seeing from Anthony Edwards already, the elevation that he's able to get from these two dudes, like, that's special. There's a special quality about him, and like, he came in with an NBA body. He didn't really have to develop it much.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, quite the game. And Booker tried his heart out. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, almost put a
Suns
50.
got a lot of dudes. Like,
Almost put a 50. But what you can do?
Yeah.
Yeah, swept. The Knicks. I mean, Jalen Brunson putting up 47. Taking that series to 3-1. Pushing the Sixers to the edge.
yeah, I mean,
Sixers, it's happening still. What?
they got that built-in excuse.
Joel's hurt. What do you
well,
know?
not- it's been boo-boos. Boo-boos, yeah,
It's another year and another Joel Embiid
Can we
injury.
get my boy Joel out of there?
I mean,
then he's just gonna create excuses on the next stop and where
yeah, dude. At some point, you're just like, it's been his team. Where's his ring?
He's by
He had
himself. He's a
you had
sinner.
an MVP.
Sinners
Why?
don't win championships.
You have a league MVP. Why is the furthest you've been like the second round? Like, you haven't even been to a conference final. Like,
And this is the third separate coach you brought in for this start.
Yeah, but he's a sinner. Sinners don't win championships.
This is the
tell
second.
that to Shaq.
Yeah, tell that to Shaq. Nakeem.
Shaq had other people.
And Akeem, yeah, come on, man.
Keem had other people. It's just my boy Joel.
Who else did he?
I don't fucking know.
Joel had Jimmy Butler. He had.
Yeah, but they had Doc Rivers at the time.
No, he did. Not when he had Brett. He had worse Brett Brown.
Oh, okay.
It was actually worse.
It was worse. I was close.
Yeah. I mean, he has Tobias. Yeah, okay, yeah. He doesn't have anybody around him right now. But, I mean, maybe it's because he throws him under the bus.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what
I
happens.
mean,
Team has
that's
done
probably
nothing but
part of it too.
Hey,
We'll give him
nothing
another
but
year.
finished-
Let-
gotten worse since they got since the Ben Simmons situation. They have not gotten closer to overtime in Game 7 of the conference of the second round of the playoffs.
Second round,
from
yeah.
the finals. They have not gotten closer than that. So technically, they have only gotten worse since Ben Simmons left. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like the team that he went to, he's helping them get better because he's not playing.
Yeah.
I like when New York teams are bad.
Isn't it
Well, they're
fun?
good right now.
They're good right now. Yeah, it does suck. But it's fine because the Knicks haven't been good
No, I
in
like when
so
they're not
long,
big.
and then
That's
and the
true.
Knicks aren't like some of the other New York teams that have just like won a ton in their history. They're they've won like 2 championships ever, right? Back in like the
Yeah.
fucking 70s.
Knicks I remember were obnoxious as fuck.
In the 90s, sure, but they're
they were
they're a
good.
little fun, but they weren't. They never actually got anything.
And that was the Patrick Ewing Knicks. That's
Yeah, that's one we grew up with. And they were again they were good, but they never got anything. Hey, we got a fun one with the Clips and the Mavs. That's a fun series
That
so
is.
far.
Um,
Tied it up at 2. The Clippers. Harden had a game.
and
He
you
had a
just
second half.
you just feel like the more Kawhi missed quite a bit of time before this series. You just think that, the more health the more he plays consistently, the better he'll get.
Obviously, you need a healthy Kawhi, but I mean,
Yeah.
today it was. I don't even think it was Kawhi.
No.
They didn't need him. Didn't need him.
Well, he played.
Did he play?
Yeah, he's back. He came back in game 2. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he'll get better the more and more he plays.
Where's he at?
Let's go, Luca.
I didn't even see it in the stat line. Let's see. What's today?
Let's go, Doncic.
Oh, maybe he didn't play today.
He
might have
didn't
held
play.
out for rest.
Nope. Didn't play there, PB. Come on, PB. You're supposed to be the basketball guy.
Well, he had come back for game 2.
Well, he got elbowed in the jaw, and he was bleeding like really bad out of his jaw, out of his mouth, I should say.
Oh.
Well,
I think that was game 2.
yeah.
Like
Probably game.
It was pretty nasty.
But Paul George, and James Harden, they was in and they played.
They played that.
They played very well. And dude, Harden came in the fourth quarter even to put that thing away. Still got a little juice in him, that Harden guy.
Yeah, because it's not the conference finals yet.
Well, yeah, that's true. But in the Mavs, like, come on, Mavs, what are you doing? Wasting Luka.
Well, I mean, that's what the Mavs do. They're gonna waste all of his career, except for like a single,
Very end.
except
the
for one
very-
season, maybe
Yeah.
2. He can get to 2 finals in his career.
Towards the end there.
You can win one of
Yeah.
them, then. And it'll be a revenge one for like.
Let's take a break. We are back live. Boys.
Hey!
Hey, sorry
Whoops.
about that. That was wild.
That was fun. All right,
That's
we're
interesting.
back.
Well,
We got kicked out. We're being canceled. They don't. We're trying. They're trying to squash our
our
freedom of
feet.
speech, and silence us. The government for reasons. They're doing it.
All right, P. Let's talk about the Eagles' money situation here.
Oh yeah, so far this off season, because the Eagles right before the draft started. Breaking news was Eagles re-signed AJ Brown for 2 or 3 year extension, $96 million. So much money.
Mm-hmm.
But then so I just started looking, and it's like they also re-signed Devontae Smith, earlier after picking up his option to a 3-year, $75 million contract.
Good. That's good.
They also re-signed Jordan Mailata to a 3-year extension at $66 million.
Yeah.
They
Protect that QB.
They re-signed Avonte Maddox to a 1-year deal. Details I could not find on that one. Sorry. Jake Elliott, 4-year,
Okay.
$24 million contract.
Ooh, kick it.
Landon Dickerson, 4-year, $87 million.
Okay.
Highest for a guard. Brandon Graham, 1-year, 1.5. Brandon Mann, our Braden Mann, our punter, 2-year, $5 million extension.
Okay.
Reed Blankenship,
Mm.
1-year extension for $3.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's $358 million in re-signings. That'll be paid out, obviously, not this year, but
Right. Sure. Cap's not that big.
and I mean, I got to give credit because he got both of these contracts done for Brown and Smith before Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson come in and get their deals.
Oh, that was always how that was going to go.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
smart
I
to
mean,
get
he
the-
wasn't gonna get Justin Jefferson money.
No, but it's also smart to get Devonta Smith in before other players because that'll reset the market. Potentially.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
So-
I mean, AJ's currently the highest paid.
but that's based off the similar market that we've had. And I mean, we also had Amon-Ra St. Brown, who got over $100 million in his contract.
dude's good.
But yeah, the guarantees were higher in AJ's than Amon-Ra. But no,
Okay, so
they
the
paid all.
Eagles-
They used the majority of their money instead of going out and signing a bunch of free agents and doing all that to.
keep it in house. Yeah, the draft and the and in house.
Yeah, like obviously we did make our splashes with Saquon and Huff.
Right.
Brought
Yeah.
back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Oh,
No, that's
Yeah.
the thing. If you're drafting well, you don't need to go make
Yeah, you make
anything
the additional
too big.
pieces to bring them in.
you make smart signings.
So yeah, it's just
We'll see how
this
that
is a
takes
fun
place.
era of football for us to watch because we get to watch teams that we like make wise decisions.
Ding,
Growing
ding.
up, like we were seeing our teams make not so wise decisions.
Yeah, there's really, I think there's nothing else I could really ask out of my football team right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh well, no, not out of our
Maybe,
No.
maybe some better facilities for the players.
facilities.
yeah,
There's more we
facility.
could ask out of our owner, but
Yeah.
not outside of that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
from everything else on down, I mean, because we did the exact same thing this year. We went and re-signed everybody that was a free agent except for Willie Gay
Yeah,
and Tommy Townsend.
And Tommy,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really
And
all
I
we
think we were
lost.
able- I
right?
think we were able to
Oh,
actually.
and Sneed, man,
we
he
traded
wasn't a
him.
free agent. We traded, but
And the Eagles also traded away big
those are
name
the three
player,
guys we lost.
John Reddick.
Xavier Worthy's reaction to our training facility wasn't great. His face that he made when he walked in.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Apparently,
sure.
Dude, he just came from Texas.
Yeah,
Of course, he,
apparently he had told his agent during the draft process. He's like, "Can you just tell all the other teams outside of Kansas City that I don't want to get drafted by them? I want to go to the Chiefs." And his agent goes, "Absolutely not.
no.
I will not tell that to every team."
He's like, but I just want to play with Patrick
Like, but I
Mahomes.
really want to play in Kansas City. He goes, "Well, then we have to hope that they don't find that out."
That's funny.
Yeah.
gonna be exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun season to watch. Hopefully everything pans out the way we expect it to. Obviously hope health is on their side, and we just really hope that the Rashee Rice punishment gets handed down sooner rather than later.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
Yeah.
Get it in, get it done.
I'd rather be the first 6 than the last 6.
Yeah,
for
for
Or
sure.
the first 8 than the last 8.
For But do we want to get on to last topic?
Last topic. Robert
Last
Kraft.
one that we should have talked about last week, but so much going on.
So much.
So much. Yeah, with the reports coming out that it was Robert Kraft that screwed over Bill Belichick from getting the Atlanta job, from calling up who's their owner, Arthur Blank,
Mhm.
right? And apparently Robert Kraft and Arthur Blank are like really good friends. Right? They're like best buddies in the owner community. And he told Arthur that you can't trust Bill Belichick. You'll never have. He said, you'll never have a warm conversation with him. Okay, that's not what you're hiring him for. But you can't trust him. Trust him. I mean, I don't know if you can trust Robert Kraft either. But why? Like when a guy helps take your team from like the Patriots before Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. A couple Super Bowl appearances, no wins.
Yeah.
Most of their history had been very mediocre,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As far as the football team goes. This guy comes in, helps build, make you one of the most successful franchises in history, right?
The
In the
most
history of the
successful
sport.
franchise in NFL history.
And it's right, they have 6 along with the Steelers. That's the most any team has, the 6 Super Bowls. Gives you like the greatest dynasty ever if you want to put it all encompassing, right?
Yeah.
Or at least gave you 2 different dynasties, and now you're going to fuck him over on the next job he tries to get, like as soon as he goes, and you sign off on this documentary. I think he helped make the documentary, the franchise.
Yeah.
That was not very glowing about Bill Belichick either. So what the fuck, Robert Kraft? What the fuck?
The fuck, dude?
That
Well,
seems-
I mean,
Ungrateful son of a bitch.
it all kind of jives with what you feel and have heard about Bill Belichick.
or Robert Kraft. Like it depends on which way you want to go with this.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's fine. Like, let Bill Belichick produce a documentary. Like, I don't disbelieve. Like, yes, these are obviously 2 assholes.
Bill
but-
Belichick is about to be in front of a mic every Monday, actually.
Oh yeah,
This coming year. So if he wants to let it rip on Robert Kraft, he sure can.
He
And
sure
I would
could.
love to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of hoping the Patriots don't do well this year.
I would rather him be on there on Tuesday than fucking
Yeah, but he's there Monday, so we'll have to.
well, is he gonna have the dickhead
And Nick
back on?
Saban Wednesdays, I think. Like they've got somebody almost every fucking day of the week.
But is he gonna have the dickhead back on Tuesdays?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
It might not. It might be time to quit watching that one.
I've been watching only clips of it for the past pretty much year now. I think
I'm mainly speaking to myself. I'm talking out
yeah,
loud.
yeah. But the draft spectacular was fun. I mean, they had
Yeah,
Ariel John.
Belichick's awesome.
Belichick was fun. I can't believe we've gotten to the point where you have Bill Belichick on a show with a former punter who smokes copious amount of weed, and one of the co-hosts is a parody of Mel Kiper. Like
The whole time. Yeah.
the whole time the guy's a parody of Mel Kiper and never breaks character. And Bill Belichick is on the same show for the NFL draft.
And it's on ESPN.
And it's on ESPN. And it's like the first year Bill Belichick hasn't been in a draft room, right? For the draft in how long, right? 20 some years. Even before that, he was a coach, so he was still around. So decades. It's probably been since like the 80s since Bill Belichick was not in a draft room on draft day. And he is spending it with a pothead and with multiple potheads and a
Some trashy little goober that worships the ground he walks on.
those worship.
And then his former player Darius Butler.
It's one of his former players, and Darius Butler.
And then there's also Pac-Man Jones half the time.
And of
I
course,
think
a
he's
parody-
gone. He had another DV thing.
He's back.
He's back.
He was back.
Ugh,
He was there last week.
You know,
I don't like that.
He Teflon. Nothing stick.
nothing stick. Nothing stick.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just fun. It's just fun where we've come with this Bill Belichick ride, and I'm excited to hear more from Belichick. It'll be good content.
Agreed.
It was fun hearing what he thought about all the prospects, right, and broke down the tape and Belichick. Anyway, Sneaky's gone. Sneaky's are out of here. We're done, right?
Just like him, I think we did it.
We did. We're out.
We did.
Hey, as always, thank you guys for watching.
It was great.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Give it a try.
Try it out.
We'll have a good laugh. It'll be a maniacal laugh, maybe. We'll say maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
Good night. Good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.